That is, everyone has completed extraction, transformation, and he's good to go with the preload success and preload error reports. If anyone has any issues in his BODS or data services programs, I will try to correct those today, and then we can go with the load in the next sessions. But for today, before helping you out on the data services programs, if anyone has issues, I just want to cover these 4 T codes. Okay, the first one is WE19. So what we discussed yesterday, one was WE30, where you can check the IDoc segments, and then you can check what all fields are present that can be loaded. Then we also discussed WE20, by which we could do the partner profiling. Then we discussed the moment we are trying to post some IDocs, they should come into WE02 or WE05. So you can see all the IDocs that you are posting into W02 and W005. Excuse me, just give me a second. And if there is a status 51, it means it's a fail. 53, we discuss, it's a pass. IDoc has been passed and the data has been loaded. If it's a 64, then it means that the IDoc is yet to be processed. It has been just posted to the system from BODS. There can also be some errors, like there can be a status, not an error, all these are statuses like 51, 53, 64. There can be 69 as well. And there can be some status like if you go to the log, it will tell you like, hey, the partner profile of the IDoc does not exist. In that case, you have to start from here. You have to partner profile it, and then and only then you can post some IDocs. Okay, 69 is IDoc edit. Now let me go to WE19. For example, I'm trying to load some data. Let's say W02. I tried to load a material. Let's give me mat mass star. Let me get an IDoc. For example, I have 2 IDocs over here. Now I want to test some data in my SAP system itself. I told you before going to SAP BODS and writing the code, I will always make sure to check what I need basically to load this data. So for example, now I'm trying to test this IDoc. I posted an IDoc from BODS and now it's giving me some error. If you want to check out the error, so what you have to do is you have to, for some of the IDocs, the error will simply be notified over here. Like, hey, this is the error. But for some objects like materials and maybe sometimes for a bill of materials, they maintain a log is maintained in the SAP system. So you need to check out for the log, which we call as application log. For example, if I want to check this, see, as of now, if you go here, it's just telling you messages have been issued. Number this is the message. But we don't actually know what's happening. How can we resolve this error? So you will double click on this. There's a note over here, right? This note, you will double click on this and then you will click on application log. Here it's trying to tell me, hey, gross weight cannot be equal to net weight. Suppose I posted an IDoc from data services and I want to see if it's getting loaded or not. I will again repeat this. Whenever you are partner profiling anything, just keep the statuses like we process by background program. Do not process immediately. I told you the reason. Sometimes we can trigger the load job by mistake and the data can get loaded. So, and sometimes the volume of data is huge. It will give you the system timeout error. So it's better whenever we do the partner profiling, just make there's an option, right? We discussed it yesterday as well. There's an option trigger by the background program. What is that background program? For IDocs, we need to go to BD87 to process it. How do I do it? That's a separate question. I will tell you later, but inside the partner profile, even if your functional has done it like trigger immediately, please go there and change it to trigger by background program. Now 53 is I could post an IDoc, right? I'm done and dusted here. Now this data should be visible in my Mara table. But if there is a status 51, 51 means error. Now I want to check what's the error. If you open the status, you open this 51, for some of the objects, you will straight away see the message over here. Okay? But for some objects like material master, like bill of materials, a message is not displayed over here. A message is displayed in the SGLI. There's a transaction code SGLI, which we call as application log. Okay, so how do I check this message now? Now I need to correct this IDoc, right? I need to correct my data so that I can load some records. So how do I check that error message? I will double click on this note. There is a note over here, right? This note. I will double click on this. The moment I go inside, there is an application log associated. If I go like this, it's telling me a message. Hey, gross weight cannot be equal to net weight. Then I need to figure out, okay, gross weight is equal to net weight. That's the reason it's giving me an error. Gross weight is a field like net gr and something. I will show you. I'm telling you from the, what do you call this? And if you want to see like what data got posted to do in the IDoc. So this is the data inside your Mara. I was able to post this data. I'm trying to post this data from data services. Like my material number is AA08, then PStat is K, material type is FERT, MBR set, all those things. Now if I check, I'm not passing any data to net R. There are two fields. One is net WR and something, net weight and gross weight. I was not passing any data to that. So it gave me an error. Hey, it cannot be equal. As of now, the system is considering both as null, right? So it wasn't loading. Then to test this out, I changed my data. If I show you my Mara segment, okay, this is it, like BRGW, I gave it 2 and net weight, I gave it 1 and I was able to load this. If you see the status is 53. 53 means I was able to load this data. If I again go back to this, so if I want to check this AA08, I go to /OSC16 Mara partner AA08 and I was able to load it. So this is my data. So this is my user ID. Okay, I loaded it on 29th of June and these are all the details. Whatever data I pass to the IDoc, this is getting loaded. Okay. Now sometimes you might have a scenario, for example, you don't want to post the same IDoc from BODS, right? You want to just close it in SAP itself. Now there are two options. One, let me discuss the first one. Now you know, like for this IDoc, for 51 IDoc, there is an error, right? So when you double click on this, you go to application log, you could see like, hey, gross weight cannot be equal to net weight. Now you found out what's the issue. So what I can do, I can go back, I can double click on this. You see this node, I will double click on this. I can go to data record and I can go to change. The moment I say okay, now this will open up all the things for me, whatever is present in this, right? Now there is this BRGW. Let me give say 10 over here and let me give, this is gross weight. Let me give 12. Let me give 112. Gross weight is this and net weight is 12. Exactly. SAP system has been set up like this. Okay. Now I will save this, but you know already AA08 exists inside the system. So let me check AA09, because if AA08, AA09, then it all depends on the number ranges. Let me come to number ranges first then. So what is a number range? You know what happens with SAP systems? We set up a number range. Okay, from this number to this number, material type FERT should get created. Again, if I have a material number starting with 1, the data owners can just look at the starting number and they just point out, okay, this is my finished good material, FERT material. This is my HAL material. If anything is starting with 2. So all these things are being done by the basis team. We don't need to care for that. They will set up the number ranges themselves. So where for a material master, where do they do it? There is a T code called MMNR. So inside MMNR, you can see like this is the numbering numbering number, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So for each from number and to number. So if I see A, I can do something like A is 01, A is 02. I'm trying to give the number. You see, there's a tick mark for external. So whenever there is a tick mark on this external, it means the number range for A to ZZZZ has been set as external. So whatever number you are posting from outside the SAP system, it will take it and create it. Now this has not been taken there. It means for number range 3, the system has been set as internal. You will pass material number as null or blank in the Idoc, and the system will generate a number on its own. You understand the difference? This is also an important interview question. Number range and its types. We will not do it. Basis team will set it up. But sometimes you are trying to, sometimes basis team will create a numbering and they will ask you, okay, numbering has been set as internal. And you try to put some value to material number here, as I am doing for this IDoc. You see, I'm doing A09. It means I am expecting for material type FERT, that is a finished good. My range has been set as external. That's the reason I'm giving AA09. I'm explicitly giving my material number over here. Okay. If you are not able to load it, it's throwing you an error on the material range. It means you will go to MMNR for material master and you can check, okay, no, this material, so your functional is telling you, hey, I have set the number range as internal. But when you go here, you can check, no, material range has been set to external. So it means internal is something which the SAP will generate itself on its own and give and a number will be allocated to the material. External is something which you will send through the IDoc from the external world to SAP, and the same material number will be created in S4. Now, if I have a single source system, okay, I am migrating my materials from a single source system and I want to migrate my data to S4, then I can use external number range, right? Because I have only one source system. I can use any material number from source and map to the same target. That way, it becomes easy for the data owner to recognize his materials. Okay, material number 1 in source is this. Material number 1 will be exactly the same in target. But now, if the materials are being migrated from multiple systems, there can be something like for tile in US, material number is 100 and material number 100 in UK is something else. So I cannot do it, right? I cannot use an external number range in that case. So what I will do in those cases is like I will use an internal number range. The system will generate an internal number, and now how and a material will be created in the S4HANA system. But how does the business then later know, like, hey, for this particular material number, this was the number in my legacy system. Mostly they will give you one of the fields which is a redundant field. They feel like, hey, I don't need it. For example, material master has so many fields, right? They can tell you, okay, this for my reference, please dump this to here. Maybe for, let's say, they ask you to dump it to this field. It's okay. But sometimes they will not let you do that. These are two scenarios now. They ask you, hey, we want to set up the number range as internal. Then the material number in your legacy system and the material number in your target system will not be same. Right? If the number range is being used as external, then the number, material number, vendor number, customer number in your legacy system and target system will be same. How, when I can use my external number range? If I have one source system, I can use. But if my materials, customers, vendors are getting, I mean to say, migrated from multiple systems, then it's not possible. So how many types of number ranges can be there now? So number range can be internal and number range can be external. This is an important question from the interview perspective, So what is an internal number? Something that is internal to the SAP. And whenever you will load some customer vendor material using the internal number range, inside the IDoc will always pass blank. You cannot pass some material number here. Here, you will pass it as null. Okay. Otherwise, usually the IDoc will fail. It will throw you an error that the numbering has been set up as external. Sorry, internal. Why are you giving me this number? Or if you are directly giving your number from the external world, for SAP S/4HANA, external world is anything outside its, I mean to say, landscape. You are giving AA09. This means this is an external number range, right? Do you guys follow me? What is number range?
Yes.
And what is the difference between an internal external number range?
Yes.
Okay. For materials, it's like simple MM/. I'm coming to that. 90% of your clients will not let you use any of the fields. See, for example, for external, it's easy. Why?
It's direct.
Because source material number is equal to target material number. Here I will exactly know which material passed and which failed, right? Because I'm trying
Yes.
to pass material number 1, I can straight away go to my what do you call this, SAP system, and I can check, okay, material number 1 is getting created. Okay, I'm good. This got created. But the moment the material number range is being used as internal, now how will you, I have suppose 100 materials to be created. I created 90 and I failed 10. Now how will you determine which 90 passed and which 10 failed? You have the count. 90% is loaded, but 10% is not loaded. How will you know this 10%? How will you know these 10 IDocs? Then you have two options. One, your functional or data owner will ask you, hey buddy, can you just push your material number from the legacy to this field in your target? For example, they recognize, hey, we are not anyways using, say, this field. Any field, for example, they find out, hey, we are not going to use this sales material. I'm giving you an example. Or they are not going to use this product OID. Then they will tell you, okay, dump the legacy material number to this. Again, it's easy. What you can do is you can connect your source Mara with target Mara, and the join would be between source Matner and target prod 0 ID, right? Still, it's easy. You can figure out which got loaded and which got failed. Am I making sense?
Yes.
No, 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 no. The reason can be anything. SAP is like a baby. It can behave sometimes. For example, I will give you an example. You have, for 90 of your materials, they are finished goods. For some 10 materials are semi-finished goods. The 90 have this material type as foot, but for 10th, let's say it's halved. When you try to run the preload, okay, everything is passing. But somebody out of the blue, he deleted the configuration for halved now. What will happen? The moment you try to load, FERT will load. Okay, 90 got loaded, 10 are not getting loaded. Okay, now one more question. No, one more scenario. For 90 material, for FERT, they are maintaining gross weight and net weight. But for 10, they are not maintaining gross weight and net weight, and we are not even checking that in our validations, right? They have set up their systems in such a way that they are expecting net weight and gross weight. It should not be equal. But for it, they are maintaining it in their SAP system, legacy system. But for half, they are not maintaining it. So 10 can give me errors. Error can arise of anything. It can come. You cannot even expect the errors. No, I am not saying CCC. Ultimately, the reason I will come back to material range, material ranges then. Whenever you are trying to load a material, the number range can be internal or external. For external number range, the legacy material number and the target material number will be same. Now you will exactly know which 90 passed and which 10 failed, because those 10 will not be there
Right.
in target Mara. But what if the material number has been set as internal? You are trying to pass material number you are trying to load material number 1, but in SAP S4 HANA it will get converted to material number 202, 2002. It depends on the status, right? For example, if you go to MMNR as of now, this number range 01, already 2700 materials have been created. If I try to use this number range, this is an internal number range, right? The material number that will get generated right now would be 2701. I am trying. Yes, sir, please go ahead.
Sorry, one question here. So the internal ranges can be defined by the system, right?
Internal ranges are defined by the basis team, by the functional owners, by the system owners. Data
Right.
migration team is not
No,
going
I'm not
to
talking about which team, but system assigns internal number ranges, right?
Yes.
Automatically.
Yes. How do they do it? Everything is internally linked to the material type.
Right. And the external number ranges defined by user or some other external systems, whatever we connect.
Exactly.
Okay.
I will decide that number.
Yeah, I would
But
like to
again, see, for number range 2, this is an external number range. This will be internally, this will be linked to some material type. As of now, when I was testing, I could see this has been linked to FERT. That's the reason I'm always trying to load a FERT material type. If you see, I'm using a material type FERT, and I'm trying to use external number range, because we will not control this number range. We will just get an alignment from the business. Hey, this is an internal number range, this is an external number range. If this is an external number range, then whatever is coming from the legacy, you will post it. If this is an internal number range, you cannot post it from the legacy. For external number range, you now know, okay, I loaded 100, 90 got loaded, 10 got failed. Which 90 got loaded? You can straight away come to Mara and check, okay, on this particular day, by this user, which materials are being loaded. You can straight away get those 90 here, right? And you can get the material number. And since source material number and target material number is same, you don't need to worry, right?
Okay.
You will straight away. No problem. You will straight. This is very important from the interview point of view. That's the reason I'm stressing on this. So you will straight away figure out, hey, these 90 materials got loaded. These 10 are not present in system. It means these 10 failed. Then what is the error? You will go to the error log and check, right? But what if your system has been designed in such a way that the number range is being used as internal? Now you are trying to push material number 1, it is getting converted to 2700 in the target. There is no relation between legacy material number and target material number now. What will you do in such cases? How will you find out which 90 passed, which 10 failed? There are two options left to you now. One, your business or data owner will tell you, okay, inside my Mara, there is a field, say prod 0 ID. They are not anyways going to use it. They decide, hey, we are not going to use it. Okay, dump the legacy material number, say GNNR. They decide, okay, we are not going to use GNNR. This is a non-configurable field. I can post anything to this. Okay, post legacy material number to this. Your life is again sorted, because you will again come back to your target system. You can anyways figure out, okay, for this GNNR AA09, 2700 is the new material number, and I know now which 90 got passed, looking at GNNR. Am I making sense? Am I clear till now?
Yes.
Thank you.
If the business allows you to use any of the fields from Mara. Now 10% of the clients, they will tell you, we don't want any legacy data in our new system. No, we are not going to give you any field which you will use. We might use it in the future. We are not aware as of now. We are not sure as of now if we will use all these fields. But yes, we might use all these fields in future. So do not post any material number in any of the fields. In that case, how will you now know 90 and 10? That's the reason SAP inside this control segment, EDI DC40, this is a control segment. We take the help of this field then, R key. What happens is like, you see R key? Whenever you load or you post any IDoc, two tables are always getting loaded. The moment you throw any IDoc to the SAP system, two tables will always get loaded. One is EDIDC, second one is EDIDS. This EDIDC is the master table for IDocs. IDocs posted, IDoc numbers. Don't confuse it with your master data. Leave that. Now, the moment I post any IDoc, a number is getting generated, IDoc number. It will be maintained here. And if there is any status associated to it, like success or fail, it will be getting into EDIDS. Again, if there are certain objects like bill of materials, like material master, where EDIDS is not having the proper error message, it's getting stored in the application log. That's the reason in order to find those errors, we go to application log. But for customers, vendors, pricing, sales contracts, the error message can be directly found out in EDIDS. Now let me show you this EDIDC. Please remember these things. This is important. Now this is a failed IDoc, right? This is an IDoc number. I don't want to save. No, okay. Yeah, this is a failed IDoc. Now this is IDoc number 53001. So the moment an IDoc gets posted, it will always go to EDIDC. Okay. If I push this EDIDC, this is the IDoc number. An IDoc number is here. The status is here, right? This is telling me, hey, this is the status. Now there is a field which we call as R key. If you see, it will be somewhere here. Just a moment. Wait, buddy. I don't think it's maintained. I don't know. I'm not sure of which of these. RCVAD, are you sure? Yeah, we will anyways pass one IDoc. But okay, let's take an example. This is getting posted here now. When we test our IDoc for material master, we will anyways post the legacy data as well. Now let me take an example. This R key is getting stored here. Now, whenever you post an IDoc, let me first show EDIDS as well. /OSC16 EDIDS. This is C. I want to go for EDIDS. Let me post the same IDoc number here. And then you will see like all for this particular IDoc, there are 4 statuses as of now. Now this is giving me message have been issued, direct message call. For material and BOM, I know the direct message is not being pushed here. For rest of the objects, you can straight away see the error messages in stat.txt column. But for some of the objects, it's not maintained over here. So what we do, we go to the application log to check out the real message, what the real error was. Now, again, let me come back here. Suppose I posted 100 IDocs. Okay. So for all these 100 IDocs, my legacy material number, it will go to EDIDC 40 R key field, right? The moment I am posting this, it means 100 IDoc numbers or 100 IDocs are getting generated. And all these 100 IDocs are there in EDIDC. Now in EDIDC, you have column status, right? If the status is 51, status is 53, then there is an R key. We will check out which field is that, but there is an R key. But what's inside my R key now? Inside my R key, I have legacy material number. So the moment you post these IDocs, if your business owner is not letting you use any of the fields that's present in Mara target system, you can go to EDIDC. You can filter on this R key now. Whatever has status 53, it means this has passed. Whatever has status 51, it means it has failed. Then you need to reload those 10 IDocs. You follow me? I have given you 3 scenarios. One for external. External, it's easy. Material number in legacy is equal to material number in target. We are done and dusted. I have given you 2 scenarios for internal number range. One, you can ask your business owner if you can use any of the fields in Mara target system. If he is allowing you, then you are done and dusted there. We are sorted. We can use that field to find which 90 got passed and which 10 failed, because those 10 will not be there. Simple. But if he is not letting you use any of the fields, then we take the help of EDIDC, that is the control segment. We will push our legacy material number to R key. Then from EDIDC table, we will check which 90 R keys have status 53 and which 10 have status 51. That's how we will make use of 51 and 53. This is an important question. Like, what is the difference between internal number range and external number range? The second question is, if you are using an internal number range, how can you reconcile data, or how can you perform the delta loads? What is a delta load? Delta load is simply, you had 100 IDocs, you are using an internal number range. Now you try to post these 100 IDocs, 90 passed, 10 failed. In the next run, you will not load 100 again, because this is an internal number range. You don't know what number has been generated over there. You will create 90 duplicate materials if you try to post 100 records again, right? In that case, you will take the help of EDIDC and you will design your code in such a way that only 10 get posted in the second run. Now say in the second run 5 got passed, 5 failed. Then in the third run only 5 IDocs should be posted. At the end of day, you should only be working on 100 materials. You cannot post 300 IDocs in 3 different runs. No, you will create 90, 90, 92, 70 duplicate materials if you do that. So that's the reason this is an important question. Definitely, whenever you go for the interviews, they will ask you, how do you reconcile your data, or how do you perform the delta loads when the number range is internal? Same concept can be used for material, same vendor, same customer, using the R key of control segment EDIDC. Simply, if someone asks me how do you use it, I simply tell them, here we have EDIDC control segment. There we have a field called R key. I will push my legacy material number, customer number, vendor number to that. The moment an IDoc gets posted, I can see those IDocs in SAP S/4HANA system in EDIDC. Whatever has status 53, that's pass. Whatever has status 51, it's failed. Then I will reload only those. I will do the delta load for only those which are failing, in order to prevent the duplicate creation. It depends on your data. If you're migrating data from one source system to another, lift and shift, right? Then external is okay. But if you are having multiple source systems, I am giving you an example. Material number 1 for UK, it will be Pepsi. Same material number 1 for US, it can be maybe Cadbury, right? Now, if you try to go to the system and try to load material number 1, it got loaded, but this will not get loaded. Why? Because you cannot have duplicate material number in your target system.
Right.
So in this case, what I will use, the system will be set at internal number range. Now it's 1 for UK, but in my target system, it can be 202. It can be 290. You follow it? Ultimately, these numbers 202, 290, it matters to us. It doesn't matter to the business. Why? Because the moment they go to S/4HANA system, they just do everything based on the material name. For us, it matters. Why? Because we have to load the downstream objects. I don't care for external number range because we already know legacy material number is equal to target material number. I am not concerned over there. I can straight away go to Mara and I can check, okay, these material numbers already present there. Okay, done. Because this one will be exactly one in target now for external. I don't care about external. I care for internal because for internal, I don't know what is the target, what is the material number that is getting generated in target system. I know in source, but I don't know in target. How will I now know which 90 got failed and which 10 got, which 90 passed and which 10 failed? Count is okay. You can go to, for even for internal, you can go to Mara and check on that particular day, what was the count. You know 90 got passed. Now you have to load those remaining 10. You need to now know which 10. How will, you cannot load at random, right? Those 10 materials. You need to exactly know which 10 failed. How will you know it? Then I give you two options. One EDIDC, one your business owner can ask you to use one of the fields. External is easy. External, no one is going to ask you. It's only a complication for internal number range. How will you do it? Now, someone might ask me one more question. Hey, buddy, if we are trying to pass the legacy material number to R-key, now for this scenario, again R-key 1, again R-key 1. But this is getting, suppose this got passed, this got failed. Now, how will I know whether I need to reload this or this? Because again, it will show me for one R-key pass, for one R-key fail. This will have status 53, this will have status 51. Now, how will I do it? That's the reason whenever you are passing data to R-key, you need to be a little smart. So what I will do in this case, I will pass the combination now. System underscore legacy material number. Right? Now in this case, it will be UK underscore 1. Now in this case, I can do anything with R-key. It will be 1. Now, if I get UK underscore 1 as status 53, I now know, okay, for UK material number 1 is loaded. But for material number 1 of US, it's failing. So I will reload this material. It depends how you set up this R-key now. This is my, I will focus on vendor. Let me focus on vendor right now. Legacy S4 vendor. Suppose your legacy vendor number is 101. Okay. As of now, the number range is internal. You don't know the target vendor number. For vendors or customers, what we do is like we have a field called a table called BUT0 ID now. Okay, if I show you inside SAP /O SE16 BUT0 ID, I want to give you the concept. You see this? This is my partner and this is my ID number. This ID number is most probably the legacy vendor number or the legacy customer number. Based on this type, for example, there's a type BUP 001. They decide, okay, for vendor, we are going to use BUP 001. For customer, we are going to use BUP 002. Now, what I will do the moment I'm creating a vendor, suppose this is the new vendor number that got created and this is the legacy now. So what I will do, I will get this legacy number from this table, ID number. This is my legacy, right? So this is my legacy 101. And whatever is corresponding to this number, that is this number 1, I will get it here. Now what I will do, I will create a cross-reference now. Hey, whenever there is a legacy vendor number 101, change this to 1. Whenever I will now run my downstream objects, be it AP, AR, BOM, pricing, anything, I will always do an XREF. Wherever I have my vendor number, legacy vendor number is 101, I will change it to 1 because I now know this 101 is not present in my target system. 1 is present. You follow me? This is how we do it for the downstream objects now. We will use an xref. We will simply change it. Yeah, the first step is like after you are done with cost center, profit center, GL accounts, then you go for materials, then you go for vendors, then you go for customers. The moment all these are done, like profit center, cost center, then banks, not like bank master, right? Then we load GL accounts. Yes, you will use that, buddy. How will you otherwise know which got loaded and which got failed? You will
Okay.
use EDIDC ARCI. Okay, coming back to this question. So once we are done with this, then only we can go to AP, we can go to AR, we can go to pricing, we can go to bombs, right? We can go to sales contracts, sales orders, purchase contracts, multiple objects. But first and foremost, you have to set up the heart of SAP S/4HANA system. That is the, what do you call this, master data. Because every object then is dependent on this. And for the legacy, when the vendor number itself is changing, customer number itself is changing, then you have to comply these objects based on this number now, right? So how will you change for these objects? What you will do is like you will use a cross-referencing now. Okay, for legacy it was 101, but in target it's 1, so you will change it. For customer and vendor, usually we do it from BUT0 ID. For there will be some table where we'll be maintaining this. Say this is the legacy, this is the target. But we will get this from some table. For customer and vendor, I'm pretty 100% sure this is the table BUT0 ID. But as well, there will be some table, or they can ask you to just dump it to one of the Mara fields, right? Or they have to maintain it somewhere. Otherwise, how will we know, like for AP, for example, for pricing, I have a dependency on material. I have a dependency on material. Sales, I have a dependency on material. How will I otherwise know what is the target value for my legacy value? So we will ask our functionals. Okay, the number range has changed. Which table will get loaded? Otherwise, they have to give you one field in Mara itself. Okay, this is Mara. Just use let's use this field. Then, for example, they ask me go to Mara and use this genar. Now inside this genar, I can have a legacy value, right? So then what I can do for my material master, I will get the genar. Let's take an example for material master now. I can go to genar. Now GNR will be having my legacy values, right? And for my actual S4 value, this will be my matter. Now, whatever is present in legacy GNR, this will be legacy. So the moment I'm loading these objects, for these, I will use the cross-referencing. I will keep on changing this 101 to 1. Otherwise, I cannot load this because this 101 does not exist in system anymore. 101 has been changed to 1. Giving you a scenario. Suppose this failed and you figured out, hey, this is failing because of netgr and wgr, right? You just want to, for example, you try to load 100 records, 99 passed, only one failed. Now you are feeling like, hey, I don't want to go back to SAP and BODS and regenerate this one Idoc. I can simply change it over here and do it. There are two direct ways to do it in SAP. One, you can change it here. You go to the data segment, you double click on this, data record, change. I will name this as AA09. Let me see if AA09 exists here or not. Otherwise, it will not load. No, AA09 does not exist. So what I will do here is, I will write AA09. Now I know there is an issue with netrn, these two fields, right? Okay, let me say this is 100 and let me say this is 90. Okay, I will save this. The moment I go back, no. No. There is no material number mentioned in MAKT. MAKT will not. It will just. It's not needed over here. We don't pass
Okay.
material number to MAKT or Marcy. It's understood. Hey, this is the data parent. This is the child. But we already know this child is of this parent. So why will I still write his father over here? No, I don't need to, because I already know this is the son of Mara. This is the material number. Now I will not write Matner again here. Then Marcy again I write Matner. Then MVK again I write Matner, because that's understood. This is the father and this is the child. You will not change any material number in boards, buddy. If you are using XREF, then yes. But if you are I'm just trying to tell you, if there is a minor mistake, how can you directly do it in SAP itself? Okay. Now, if you see, the moment I saved, it got changed to 69. What is 69? 69 is the Idoc has been edited. You see, 70 has been generated for this, a new Idoc number, and 5001, which is my original Idoc, it has been given the status 69, which means that Idoc was edited. You see. Now, how do I process this Idoc? I go to /o bd87 53001 5. Okay, I do execute. I can see, like, this is my matmas. I click on matmas and I process it. Okay, now this got processed. This is one way of doing it. If I see 59 now inside my Mara, now 58, this AA09 should be there. Now today we loaded it, so say 59 A009 is there. Now there can be one more example how I can do it. If I now do this, okay, 53. This changed to 53. It means application document posted. Okay, you see 53 means pass. We could load it. Now this is one way of editing an IDoc directly in SAP. We can also recreate an IDoc. For example, now I want to make changes to 53001. I cannot make some changes here now because it's already posted, right? I cannot edit it now. If I want to regenerate this IDoc for the testing, so what I can do is I can go to /OWE19. WE19, I give 53001 because I want to change here. So this is my existing IDoc. I do this and it will open all the segments for me, whatever I have loaded. For example, I want to make a change now for AA10. Okay. Let it be like this. And then I want to do a change here. I want to write AA10 underscore testing. Then I have to click on this field. Please remember these steps. If I have to directly edit an IDoc, I can do that. If you want to generate one more IDoc, you can still do that. You have to go to WE19, give the IDoc number which you want to create, on top of which you want to create an IDoc. Then you change the details, whatever you are intending to do. Then click on standard inbound. This one. Again, it will check all this is like partner profile data. It's checking. You click on this. Okay. Now this is telling you here 53004 is being generated. Yes, now a new IDoc is generated. Earlier the same IDoc was edited. You see now 64. 64 means it has not been processed. It's only posted in the SAP system. Because in partner profile we have kept that option as trigger processed by background program. True. Now I want to show you over here /OBD87. For example, as of now, you have only one IDoc. What if I have 1 lakh IDocs? I cannot straight away go and do process because it's going to take you a hell lot of time. Okay, so now if you have 100,000 IDocs, you cannot directly come and process it because it's going to take you time. Then there's a question, how can I parallel process the IDocs? By parallel processing of IDocs, you can save a lot of time. If you have 100 IDocs, 500 IDocs, it makes sense to directly come here and process. The moment your IDocs go beyond 60,000, 70,000, 100,000 IDocs, you will not come here and you will process them because it's going to take you time. So how we do the parallel processing of IDocs? We select this node, we go to IDoc selection, we go to edit. Please remember these steps. This is one-time activity. If you remember this, you will do it for, I mean to say, for the rest of your life. You can remember like how to parallel process an IDoc. You select this node, you go to edit, restrict and process. The moment you do restrict and process, you go to, no, I can select a packet size. Where is that packet size? Okay, as of now, the packet size is 5. I can select it up to 100. Let me take it 100. Okay. Then the moment you change the packet size to 100, I will go to parallel process. Here, I will select this. I will select this. And I will select the server group. Let me select 390. Anything is okay. Now you go to program. You go to execute in background. I will hit execute in background. I will just do tick. I will click on immediate. And I will simply save. Now the IDocs are getting processed in the background. This is how we parallel process the IDocs. Now this is posted. You remember or you want me to tell you again? Because you will definitely use parallel processing of IDocs. How there is an important question. How do we parallel process the BAPIs? That's a different question. That we cannot do this simply. IDocs, this is one of the reasons why we keep that trigger by background program, because we can parallel process IDocs. And this is one of the questions for job optimization. If somebody asks you, I give you a choice of using a BAPI and an IDoc, which one will you use? I would answer him, I will use an IDoc because I can post my IDocs and then I can parallel process them. With BAPIs, it does not happen. BAPI takes one record at a time, processes it, comes back, processes second, comes back. But in case of IDocs, if you set the partner profile correctly, then inside BD87, you can parallel process the IDocs and it will save you time. There's a less chance you get the timeout error. If you guys follow me till now, let me know. If you want me to go through these steps again, please let me know. I will do that. See, it is recommended you can keep the packet size to 100. Okay, because SAPs, all the guys are using SAP. You don't want to load it unnecessarily. So that's the reason I'm keeping it as 100. You can keep 50, 60, depends on you. But I usually keep it as 95 to 100. It means 100 packets are 100 IDocs are getting posted in parallel, right?
Yes.
So it will speed it up. You have to select the server. The first one will do it, 390. Everything will be done by the basis team. Everything. You don't need to worry about that. If you want me to go again, I can show you. Okay, let's do it again. /o pd87. Then let me see if there is any IDoc in 51. I will not do it. But let's see. Nothing. Don't think I can. Can I process 53 again? I don't think so. No, you cannot change in BD87, buddy. Let me see if I can do something on this. No, okay, let's see. It will not let me, I think. But let's see. What I can do is I can go to edit. I can go to restrict and process. See, it not let me do it because it's
Okay.
already posted. Let me recreate one more. /o WE19 WE19. I do this, then I change this to 1 I do this, I do standard inbound. Okay, Idoc 53005 was generated. I close this and I go to /npd87. I select this 5 and whenever you are doing it, please select the status as 64 here so that we don't, and keep your message type here, because we don't want to process somebody else IDoc, because whenever you are working the SAP system, somebody else might also be posting his IDoc and he might be testing it. So we don't want to process somebody else IDoc. So please keep this as 64. Keep the message type you are using over here. As of now, I know the IDoc number. That's the reason I'm keeping an IDoc number. Otherwise, when I'm posting more than 50, 60,000 IDocs, I'm not going to give it here. I will simply say 64 and matmask. Let me remove it. So how we do it usually is like, we will keep the status as 64 and the message type is whatever message type you are using. Matmask, remask, depmask, bomb mat, conde 0, anything. So when I execute, I will straight away get one IDoc only because there is only one IDoc. So I will select this mat mask, go to edit, restrict and process, and then I will change the packet size. Let me say 95. Then I will go to parallel process. I will select this. I will select the server group. Let me select this. I can again execute, but I don't want to execute it. I want to do it in background. Execute in background. Simply do this. Immediate. Save. That's it. Now your IDoc will be posted by 3005. It's looking like it's taking small time or little time for one IDoc, but trust me, when we have 60,000, 70,000, 80,000 IDocs, if you just go to BD87 and process them, it will take you a lot of time. So it's better you parallel process them and do it in the background. If someone is giving you an ATL from his or her project, then it's a lifesaver. Otherwise, you have to do it one by one. It does take time to map, but it's an easy task. So whatever fields you want to pick up, we will map. But how to map, that's the question. I will show you how to do it. For example, I have 100 materials in my Mara table. Now the same 100 materials will be in my MAKT. For material number 1, I only want the description of material number 1, because you have already seen inside MARM, sorry, inside MAKT, we don't have anything like material number, right? So I want to be sure that the whole table of MAKT does not go with material number 1. And again, the whole table does not go with material number 2, material number 3. I don't want to load all the descriptions that are present in MAKT with Mara material number 1, material number 2, material number 3. How do we control that? I will show you. How do we, map the IDoc? How do we set up the IDoc? I will show you. But I don't want to do it as of now. I want you guys to be familiar with SAP first. Now, let us say you guys try to post an IDoc. Let me show you. For example, let me do one more BD87 /o BD87 and say I posted this IDoc by mistake. For example, no, not BD87, I'm sorry, /NW19. This, let me change it to 12. Let me do it. Suppose you posted 500 or say 80,000 IDocs from your BODS, but it was by mistake. Now you have 53006, but you posted an IDoc. It was by mistake, but this mistake can only be corrected if you have set the partner profile as trigger by background program. If you have set it as trigger immediately, then we are gone, right? Now, if I keep it as 64, what if someday someone comes and processes the 64 matmas IDocs? I was not supposed to process this, right? Because I posted this by mistake, and I cannot keep any IDoc in 64 status. Because someday, maybe a couple of days later, you will come and you will process 64 IDocs. So how can what I will do, I will at least change this 64 to 68 status, right? I will change its status so that if someday you come back into BD87, you try to process 64 status and matmas, this will not get processed because this I posted by mistake. So how do I do that? I will go to /OSC38. Okay. There is a Idoc star status. I don't remember the exact name, so let me search it. Yeah, this one. So there is a function module which we call as Idoc set status. The moment I click on it, I can either give my message number or I can give my message type. Let me say I am giving a message type, matmas. Okay. Now what is my status? 64. What do I want to change? 68. Because nobody is going to process 68 IDocs. Now let me keep it as test. The moment I execute, it's telling me, okay, one IDocs converted. Now you can just make sure how many IDocs you posted incorrectly. Are they getting reflected here? If yes, then you will remove this and execute it. Now, if you go back to the IDoc list and select this, now this will be in 68 status. No, now even if we posted some IDocs by mistake, it's okay because we have just changed the status to 68 and nobody is going to process 68 status. This is in case you have set up the partner profile as trigger by background program. This will be in SE38. Please remember, I want to write it. SE38 is the T code, and then this is this function module. You have to execute this. Please test it before converting the IDocs because you want to be sure if the number of IDocs that got posted by mistake are exactly getting reflected. Then come one step back, untick that test, and then execute it. For a huge number of IDocs, it takes some time, so do not worry. Is it fine till now? Now there is again an important interview question. We initially discussed what are the different job optimization techniques. I told you from the extraction point of view, we have discussed. From the transformation point of view, I will take that up. But today I want to discuss the load point of view. Suppose you figured out that your load is taking time. Okay. If you are given a chance between an IDoc and a BAPI, you will always select IDoc. Why? Because in IDocs, you can just post the data and then through BD87, you can parallel process your IDocs and you can get that work done quickly. That's from the load point of view. How do you optimize your code? From the transformation point of view, if you find out your lookups are taking time, then you will change your lookups for all the xrefs. Wherever we have an xref, we use the lookups because that's easy. But if you find out for some of the tables which are huge, lookups are taking time, then you will change the lookups to joins, left auto joins. because if you use an inner join, then you will lose out on the data. You need to get all the data, and whatever has the cross-referencing mentioned in the cross-referencing table, you will pick that up. If it's not maintained for that particular field, then it will be a null value from the target side. Legacy will be having, for example, legacy matical underscore legacy will have some value. Matical underscore target will not have some value if it's not maintained. But if you use an inner join, you will lose out on the data. Now, this completes my job optimization. Whenever anyone asks you about what are the different methods for job optimization, do not only tell him about the push down. That's not the complete answer. And more you speak in your interviews, it's beneficial for you. If you speak less, he will keep on asking you questions. If you know something, just elaborate it. Just make him realize you know it. Because more you speak, less time he will have to ask more questions. So, just a tip. If somebody asks you what is job optimization and what are the different job optimization techniques, so job optimization is making your code faster. You will tell him job optimization can be done on 3 fronts: one extraction, one transformation, one load. From the extraction point of view, you can do that array fetch size to 5000, row commit size to 5000. Then you can go to the data flow level, go to properties, and do the degree of parallelism from default to 4. If there is no dependency between the data flows, you will run them in parallels. If there is a dependency, then only you will run them in series. From the transformation point of view, if you feel your code is taking some time to run, you will change your lookups to joins, because at the SQL level, joins are faster than lookups. From the load point of view, if you have a choice between IDocs and BAPIs, you will use an IDoc. The reason, BAPIs take one record at a time and process it. But for IDocs, setting up the system correctly at the partner profile level, you can set the partner profile to execute by background program. You will simply pose the IDocs and they will be in 64 status. Then you will come back to SAP and you can parallel process the IDocs in BD87. Okay, this is the complete answer. Yes, if you feel like my one table has more data, my second table has less data, then whichever table has more data, you will keep a higher join rank. So what will happen? The data from the table will come first, and the table for which the join rank is less, then its data will come, and whatever is joining, it will take it. Whatever is matching between the two tables, it will take it up and then load it into the target table. It will just speed it up. So this is how we do it. For example, if you want to now use the schema as well, as of now you only have 1 DB. That's the reason you are just using this system.mara and system.mara. For example, I had more than 1 HANA DBs over here. I'm landing something here, then I am, what do you call this? I'm landing something here, I'm moving something to the staging, then I have something in my enriched databases. Then how you can do it here is like this, because you can only point to one data store as of now. If I had multiple, then you can simply do like, you can call it by the data store name. As of now, if you see this, for example, let's see this table. If we analyze this table, then for this, system is the schema name, right? System.table, schema.table name. So that's how I'm doing it. I'm just using a system schema.table name. If there were multiple data stores over here, then for example, this has system, that would be having system1. Then I would use system.this, system1.this table. Now you see, there is one more question over here. As of now, I'm pointing this to HANA DB, but I'm pointing this to system. For example, let's say there's one more data store. I will create one more data store. Let's see. Create new data store, HDB underscore HANA. Database underscore LND. I don't know whether we can connect because we don't have the. No, that's okay. You want to try it? Let's try. I don't think you can. Can we replicate? No, you cannot replicate a data store. No. You have to create. I have to create it, but I don't know the credentials. For example, this is HDB underscore HANA underscore data base underscore LND. For example, landing. For example, I'm using this. I can use this database. Then this would be, where is this HANA database? SAP HANA. Yes. Now it will ask me for the server name and all. I need to get that from here. So let it be. I don't want to create it. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is, if you have multiple data stores over here or databases, you can call out using the schemas. As of now, you see data store, you can only point to one schema. If you don't write this system over here, that's okay. Why? Because this is both are present in the same database. If I had more than one database over here, and this is getting pulled from this table, this data store, and this table was getting pulled from some other data store or database, then you have to use the respective schemas like this. You follow me? So that you can get the tables from two different databases, since this points to only one data store. Does this answer your question, Ram? This is just a schema name.
Yes.
So if you are pulling it from some other database, then you will just get the schema name from there to here. That's it. Now I want to go back to this. Okay, W19 is done. Now I go to SE16H. So why do I use SE16H? Oh my goodness. Let me close all these.
Grouping.
True. Slash and SE16H. For example, I want to go to my Mara and I want to see how many materials are there for each material type. How do I group data? So simply what I can do is deselect all, then what on whatever you want to have a group on, we will simply select that. Where is this? Okay, let me say material group on this, group on this. I think this should work. Yeah. So this is trying to give me the group data. Okay, for material type BUND, I have 3 materials. For FERT, I have 479. For HALB, I have 2178. If you want to take it further down, like, hey, for material type this, you cannot do it on the primary key, because anyways primary key is going to be unique. So we just want to see based on some indicators. For example, I want to see on the basis of like material type and let's say industry sector as well. So I'm basically grouping data rather than getting this data. What do you call that? Rather than getting this data from SAP system into my bots, HANA DB, and writing queries over there, we can straight away do it here. Why do I give a name? Why? Array, sorry, I had to do this. Now, if I want to take it further down, okay, for my BUND, this industry sector is I. For FERT, I have industry sector 1 to 10 materials, A1. See, this is just used for reporting. If somebody tells me, hey, can you please give me the materials that are present for material type BUND? Then you can just come to SE16H and you can do this grouping. How many total, I'm going to say, combinations are present? 36. So it depends on the requirement. You don't need to just extract the data from your SAP all the time into your HANA DB and then write the SQL queries. You can do this in SAP itself using SE16H. Then there is one more T code which we call as SQVI. True. You cannot see. I will tell you two scenarios over here. One, I'm giving you a DDD and I'm telling you to load material master. Now inside the DDD, I can have MARA, MAKT, MARC, MARD, MBEW. They will not write the joins over there, right? How you are going to join the two tables to get the corresponding data. If I want to get a plant for material, as of now, I know like Matner would be the join. If I want to go from Marcy to MBEW, what are the joins that I'm going to use? They are not going to write this in your DDD. If you are not sure, then you can anyways come to SQVI and you can check those joins. That's one case. Second case is, for example, I tell you, hey buddy, can you tell me how many materials are marked for deletion at basic level which have a plant 1000? So there is a dependency on some other table. You cannot directly go to SE16, SE16H and check the dependency between two tables and give me the data, right? You cannot do that. Or I can tell you, can you tell me how many materials have a material type FERT which have a sales organization, say 0000? Now, sales organization is maintained in MVKE. Material type is maintained in MARA. So you need to connect these two tables before you can give me the report. So how do we do that? How we join two tables inside SAP itself? We can take the help of SQVI. This is the T code for that. SQVI. Okay. So let me show you how I do it. I will create, let me write a name. Say for example, Material Master, Mara, Marcy. Let me do a create. Let me give it a title. Say Mara, Marcy. As the name suggests, I want to get some data from Mara based on some data from Marcy. Anything. Now, what is the data source over here? Is it a table or is it a table join? Here I will select a table join. Okay. I will select this mode as basis mode and I will select yes. Okay. Now the second step is I will insert the tables that I need. What happened
Can
to
you
it?
just do one step back?
I think there is some issue.
Oh, okay.
Just a moment, buddy. Create. I want to use a table join. Let me give test. I want to give a table join and then I want to come here. I want to insert. No, there is some issue with this SAP system. I cannot do it here. Maybe I don't have the access, maybe. I don't know what the issue is, but it's not allowing me to do it. I don't know. There's some issue with the system. I will get it corrected and then we will come back to SQVI. Yes.
But I'm getting this issue. Like I tried this transform. Same as you just built. Is there any way that I can? Okay, this is the.
Wait. That's okay. What's the error you are getting? See, first I will tell you a trick.
First, I will tell you a trick.
Go back. So please open the SQL. Just copy the whole query. Copy it. Go to your HANA Studio. Yeah, go to right click and then open SQL console. No, open SQL console. Top. Yeah, put this down. Replace global variable means by equal to st inside the single quotes. Run it. Okay. Now go back to your BODS. Click on the just copy this global GB underscore means along with dollar. Now go back. Go to the job level. No, go to the job level, buddy. Now right click. Show me the global variables. Show me what it is. Show me the full name of this global variable underscore means. Okay, now see, I told you a couple of days back, right? If you are getting any issues by the big brackets, it means big brackets are for numerics, integers. Then simply switch on to those curly braces. Inside your SQL transform, change from big braces to curly braces. Again, no, it's okay. You don't need to do it now. No, you don't need to update the schema because the moment you use a global variable, then it does not understand this. Just run it. So it's working. So Ram, whenever you use these global variables inside the SQL transform, make sure to use the big braces and the curly braces. Square braces are for integers. And what do you call this? Curly braces are for strings. You don't have anything failing. Huh? And I would also suggest you, whenever you are dumping some data to the file, see, one thing is you are simply dumping MAKT invalid to the file. That's okay. But if you are anytime doing any operations in between, always use a table because you never trust the files. Sometimes it may happen that the files are so big, you will get some I don't know, some unknown characters over there. So whenever you do any transformations, anything, always connect it to the table as well, along with the file. No, that's okay. See, you are dumping this data, MAKT data to this one, right? To file. Just name it as underscore RP at the end. Perfect. Yes, this will help you. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. No, this is not okay. This is MAKT. Perfect. Double click on this and then change that. Keep it a habit. Double click on this and go to option, change this to what do you call this? Varchar to yes. Sometimes it might happen that in your test systems, the jobs are not failing because the data volume is less. But the moment you go to production systems, your code might fail because of this. And there is unnecessary issue at that moment because then you have to transport your jobs back from dev to quality to production. So it's always advisable, go and just do this nvarchar to yes. It will take you some 2 or 3 seconds extra, but trust me, it's worth. So you are done till now. Prasad, how about you, buddy? You can have the join rank, whatever you feel like. See, in this case, Mara is my leader, right? I will just change it to 1. Get the date. It's okay. 1, even 1 is okay because it should be greater than 0. If you keep 1 for MAKT, then Mara can be 2. It's okay. Just one step ahead. That's it. I think we are good, Ram, for you, buddy. So please stop sharing your screen and let me go back to now. Let me go back to my data services now. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to load my material master using the Idoc, right? So let me get one data flow. Let me name it as dfmm underscore load. Okay. Let me go to my S4 HANA. Let me do a right click, import by name. So since this will be an Idoc, I will keep Idoc. I will do matmass 05. Let me do this. Okay. Let me open this and let me get my two tables which I am intending to load now. One is my Mara. Let me get my Mara. One is my MAKT. And I need to design my control segment as well. If you remember, I have already told you guys, we will be using this row generation when we load. So what this row generation does is it generates a row. Now it depends on the setting, how many rows you want to generate. As of now, I want to generate only one row per IDoc. So I'm just keeping the row count as 1 and the row number starts at 0. I don't want any numbers from it, but I just want to generate one row for each IDoc, because for each IDoc, I need to send the control segment, right? Let me do something like here, query EDIDC. So as we discussed, this is the control segment. Now, let me do something, query Mara. Let me get Mara here. MAKT. This would be my description. Let me get Matner. I don't care for this old now, right? We already sent this across to the business owner, and as of now, we assume he gave us a go ahead and we are going to load it. Now I will name it as pstat. I don't want to name it as pstat new. So whatever is old, I don't care for that. Whatever is new, I'm going to use that because this is relevant to S4 now. Okay, let me do a distinct. I'm done for Mara. There is just one point that we need to understand. Rest, it's easy. So this is my, as we discussed yesterday, MAKTG is just an uppercase of MAKTX. So we cannot even map this. So we leave this. Let me save it. Now I go to my data store. This is my S4. So this is the first time I'm going to use S4 now. I will open this. I will open this. Now I will drag and drop this here. And I'm going to select this fourth option, make IDoc message target. Because as of now, I want to send my data to the target, right? So this is the fourth option I'm going to use. Now, I'm going to simply use something like query nest. Okay. I will connect this EDIDC to this, and I will connect this to this. As of now, please remember these points. The first thing is I will get a row generation. I will name a query as query EDIDC. I will get my header data. I will get my line items. As of now, we only have Mara and MAKT. It's okay. But you can have Mara, MAKT, MARC, MVKE, MARD, anything you can have, right? The process is same. Let me go inside MatMass. Always double click on the IDoc. If you don't see these two details, at least this detail, it might throw you an error sometimes. So we have to mention it overhead. IDoc type is matmass04. That's it. These details mostly come them itself, but sometimes we have to give these details. If this doesn't give me an error, I won't give it. Otherwise, if this throws me an error, then I have to mention these details as well. I think I already used it. Let me check. Okay, let me see. No, I'm not using it. If it gives me an error, then you will just write the partner number as well, partner type as well, message type as well. If IDoc type is matmas05, then the message type will be matmas only. This is just the version. Matmas 01, 2, 3, 01, 02, 03, 04, 05. 05 is the latest, I think. And message type will always be this one up till this. 0102 we leave behind. We just take this one and message type would be this. Partner type and partner number, this will be given to us by the functional guys. That's okay. Let me come back to this load now. I will double click on this. I will open this. I will open this. And I will copy all these fields now. You see, the moment I copy, right click copy or control C, I have done it. Then I will go to this EDID. See, select this, control V. Everything is here now. Now what you will give? I need to give certain details. We discussed yesterday. IDoc is just a packet of data. Now you need to tell it this is the data. When it comes to data, it's the header and line. But you have to also tell it, hey, this is the source system, this is the target system. This is the source partner number, this is the target partner number, partner type, sender port, receiver port, right? So we give those details over here. This will always remain the same. As of now, you are giving IDoc type as matmas. Sometime later, you will give it as cremas, debmas, maybe bommat, anything it can be. But these details, like sender port, partner type, partner function, this partner function of sender, this will always remain same. Always, 100% of the time, this will remain same for your target system. But the only thing that can change across the objects is the message type. Because for bomb, it will be bomb mat. For materials, it will be mat mass. For vendors, customer, it will be crema deb mass, right? So the only thing that's going to change is this message type. That's it. Other than that, it's going to remain the same. Let me do one thing. Let me copy it from here. We have already done it. So I will simply copy what all details I need. If you see, I am mapping everything to null. Whatever details I need, I'm just giving it. For example, I know the basic type of my IDoc is matmas05. If I was using matmas04, I would give matmas04. Message type will be matmas. Apart from these two fields, this sender port, sender part, this partner type, this sender PRN, this receiver port, receiver partner type, this will remain exactly same for all the systems, sorry, for all the objects. You load cremas, you load debmas, you load any IDoc. These details are going to remain same. The only difference will be for these two fields. This will change based on the IDoc. For example, I have done it for material. The moment I load vendors, structure will always be same for EDIDC. There you will only change this cremas, and cremas 04, 05, 07, debmas, 01, 02, 03, whatever you are using. Rest of the details will be exactly same. I would always suggest you to use global variables for all, because for example, they change the sender port in the production system. Then you can just control it at the runtime, right? It's okay to do that, but 99.99% of the time, these details are not going to change from your development system to target system. Sorry, development system to production system. Nothing is going to change. This will exactly remain the same. But only thing that will change for IDocs, for objects, that is these two details. Because when I'm trying to load vendor, I'm not going to use matmas05, right? I'm going to use debmas cremas for customer vendor.
Yeah.
For bombs, I will use bombmat05 or 04. So only these two things are going to change. Rest, everything is going to remain same. Keep that in mind. So once you do it for one IDoc, you can simply copy it and paste it. I don't want to map everything to null. I will do something like this, delete it and paste it. Now somebody might have a question, hey, should I go for all these fields, do one by one, I will do null, 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 null. No, that's not needed. So whatever is null, for example, I will show you. I will select everything. Now I know this I don't want to change, 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 this also I don't want to change, right? These two I don't want to change. Even these two I don't want to change. For example, these were not mapped as of now, all the nulls. So you will select everything, right click, go to properties, unselect data type, because if you select this data type, everything will be changed to varchar. We don't want to do that. Select, unselect, unselect, and whatever you write it here right now, it's going to reflect for everything that has been selected. So I will not do one by one null, 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 null. No, I will not do that. So whatever fields are mentioned over there, I will simply map it null once. That's it. It's not going to be one by one. It will take a lot of time then. Okay. Now I come back. Now I will simply join this with this. I will simply join this with this. So this makes my control segment. This makes my header. This is my line item. Now inside my control segment, I will just keep it as null as of now, because we want to use it for our reconciliation to check the stats. As of now, I want to keep it as null. Okay. Now, the moment I go inside this query nest, here is the trick, which you have to remember for all your IDocs. That's it. What this query nest see? I don't need this enhancements. Right click, delete. I don't need UPS links, delete. Now, this query nest is the parent. For this parent, EDIDC is a child, Mara is a child. Just keep this in mind. This is the ultimate parent. This is child, this is child. Now, if I open EDIDC, these are the fields. As of now, you will see these are grayed out. If I double click on this, now I need to map it. I don't want to do it as of now. I want to show the structure first. Now, this is my Mara structure. For example, you don't want to use for CUFG, right click on it and delete it. Whatever you are intending to use it. Whatever you are not intending to use, delete it. Okay, I'm not planning to use this long text, delete it. I'm not planning to use this mlan, delete it. MVK, I don't want to use it. This, sorry, this I don't want to use, delete. Double click MBEW, I want to delete. As of now, I will delete everything. But I will show you for Marcy how I will control that as well. But now, if you guys can see, I have already discussed this. This is my parent. This is my child. This is my child. When I open this, now Mara has the children. Now Mara has a children, Mara 1, MAKT, MARC, MARM. But if you go inside MARM, we have MEN as well. Now it's not a children of Mara, it's a children of MARA. What it means, I will tell you, but just keep it in mind. It's not like you will use the same joins for mean as we are using for MAKT, because MAKT and MAKT is a direct child of Mara. But MEN is not a direct child of Mara, it's a child of Maram. Because if you close this, you cannot see MEN. MEN is inside MARM. So that's a grandchild of Mara. That's not a direct child of Mara. Please check this. This is the grandparent. This controls everything. This is the child, this is the child. But for us, whatever is here it is Mara. That means for material master, Mara should be the header table. You will always see from the IDoc perspective, Mara will control the things. Now Mara has children and Mara can also have sub-children, right? This is a direct children of Mara. This is a direct children of Mara. Marcy is a direct children of Mara. The reason I am emphasizing on these things is because this is important. Most of the people fail to load IDocs because they make mistakes here. They have to load, for example, for material number 1, they need to load MAKT and MARC. They make mistakes and they load the whole table for Marcy. They load 100 plants for material number 1, 100 plants for material number 2, when they should only load the corresponding plants, because they create mistakes or they make mistakes here, understanding which is the child and which is the parent. That's the reason I want to emphasize here. Okay. Now, see, Marcy, if you see, Marcy has so many children, MARC, MARD, MFH, right? So it cannot have a direct link with Mara. I will show you. Let me, I'm not intending to load this Maram. Let me delete it. Let me delete Marcy. I only left with Mara. This Mara is my basic thing, and I'm left with MAKT, which is my descriptions, and I'm also left with MARA1. The reason I'm leaving this MARA1 is because there was a question from Ram. What if they don't want me to load MARA1, this segment as of now, or Marcy as of now, but they later on change their mind. They want me to include this. So in the real projects, we will not delete anything. We will just do something like we will map it to something. I will show you what we will do. You will not understand like this. I will show you. First, try to understand the header. I already told you this is the ultimate parent. Which is the ultimate parent for us from the source point of view? Which is the real
Mara.
header point of view?
Query Mara.
Mara. Then I will double click on this query nest. I will go to from and I will only select Mara. Why? Because Mara is the ultimate parent from the left hand side, from the source side. This is the IDoc side. What will control my load? Mara is going to control my load. Please keep this in mind. This is very important. So what I am trying to tell to query nest, hey query nest, I understand you are the actual parent of everything. From the left hand side, Mara is the actual parent. So I am mapping you to Mara. You see, there will only be from Mara. If I double click this as well, then it's expecting a join. But I don't want to have any joins over here. I will simply do this. So I am telling query nest, hey buddy, you will have ultimately the data from Mara. Mara is the header. So this Mara, it should always have unique records. It cannot have material number 1, then P stat A and B. It cannot come like that, because now I am telling this, Mara is the ultimate header. It will have always unique records per material number. If I try to push material number 1, P stat A, material number 1, P stat B, it will tell me, hey, IDoc, it's not expected. It will throw you an error. Please be careful here. I am telling this, I will repeat this sentence 100 times because this is where people make mistakes. This is the only, I mean to say, only point here what's worth discussing. Other than that, loading data by IDocs is like, it's like a cakewalk. But you just need to understand how to set this up. That's the reason I keep on insisting these things. This query nest will flow from your real header. If your real header is not having the unique set of data over here, it will throw you an error. And it will happen in your real life scenarios. So if it happens in your real life scenarios, They are giving you data in files, but they are not maintaining unique data for this. Then you will fail such data in your preload. You will tell them, hey, this is a duplicate value. This is a duplicate data. We cannot load this. Then that will be made out of the scope. Because you cannot load material number 1.
So it's
Take an example. Matner 1, material number is 1. Unit of measure is piece. Again, Matner is 1. Unit of measure is kg.
okay.
Unit of material is same, but unit of measure are 2. They have given wrong data in your file. When you try to throw the same data here to QueryNest, it will expect this set of data to be unique. When you are giving 1 kg, 1 piece, the moment 2 records are thrown on QueryNest, it will tell you, hey buddy, I am an IDoc. I expect 1 header at a time along with such component. I cannot take 2 headers at a time. There will only be 1 parent for a child. If you understand,
Yeah.
anything, any child cannot have 2 parents at a single time, right? So this is the
Yes.
ultimate parent. So this should have ultimately 1 record. It should be unique. If you guys face any issues in this, then please use a validation and fail it. How do we fail it now? You can ask me a question, hey, how do we fail it? What you will do, whatever is your header data, take that and do a group by. If you do a group by, you post this data into some table where having count is greater than 1. Wherever count is greater than 1, then it means it's not unique, right? If for example, there is Matner and there is means. If for my Matner, for example, Matner 1, all the data is same, but means for 1 is kg, for second it's piece. It means if I do a group by, for material number 1, count will be 2. Wherever count is greater than 1, you will keep those materials in a table, and inside your validation, you will check if any of your material is present in that duplicate table. You will fail that.
Okay.
Doing that, you will remove the duplicate right before the load. Otherwise, your IDoc will fail. At the header level, it should always be unique. Now, I am telling my QueryNest, this is the data that is going to be unique. Okay. Now, this query Mara, you can use any of these fields in QueryNest, in EDIDC, in Mara, in whatsoever fields are there. So when I open this now, I double click on this. I push this here because I can. If I try to push tab name to mat, see, it's not taking it up. Why? Because we are not mapped it. I am telling this, see, ultimately EDIDC, I have to map to EDIDC. I am not even mapping it to EDIDC as of now. See, if I map EDIDC to EDIDC, now EDIDC can come here. You see plus sign, it can add. But if I remove EDIDC, I cannot even take EDIDC here. Why? It's telling me this is not mapped to it. This is not, EDIDC is not mapped to query EDIDC, so it cannot take it. But I am telling this QueryNest, hey, Mara is the ultimate father from the left-hand side. So if this is the father, this can flow to any of the segments, these 7 rec or 8 rec fields. So that's how I can just take this legacy Matner and push it to EDIDC. Otherwise, it's not coming from EDIDC. But I can still use it. Why? Because I am telling QueryNest, hey, this is the ultimate father. Now, let me show you the mapping first. So first, always make sure this QueryNest is tagged to the header. Here it's tagged to the header. Inside this EDIDC, double click on it. Map this to EDIDC. Simple. This should be pretty simple to understand. No rocket science. Now this is my Mara. So where would you map it? Would you map it to EDIDC or would you map it to Mara?
Mara.
Why?
Because the data is there, the fields which are there in the left hand side are matching
No,
to the right hand side.
No, nobody. Your Mara is the header. Your Mara, for as per the IDoc, it should take one record at a time. Inside your Mara, all the data is present. It's a table. It's not one record over there, right?
Yes.
But what is EDIDC getting mapped to? Row generation. It's taking one record at a time, right? So we will now map this Mara to EDIDC back. We are telling this Mara, hey buddy, you will have the data from Mara because Mara is the ultimate parent, but you will be having one record at a time.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay.
Okay. If you map it to Mara, the issue is you are throwing the whole table to Mara. I told you, Idoc is a one packet. In one Idoc, one packet. By mapping it to EDIDC, you are telling Mara, hey buddy, I know Mara is your parent, but you have to take one record at a time. That's the reason I will map both EDIDC to EDIDC, and I will map this Mara, the first segment in the Idoc, to EDIDC. Do not forget this. This is where people make mistakes. This query nest will be at the Mara level, whatever is your header. EDIDC will be at EDIDC. Mara will be at EDIDC because I need one record at a time, one material number at a time. Rest of the things are easy. Your Marcy will be linked to Marcy. Your MAKT will be linked to MAKT. Now, wait, I will show you. I want to show you the table structure and I want you to understand this. I don't want to mug you up. I don't want you to mug it up. Select star from. How many records are there? 699?
Yes.
I don't want to shoot 699 materials in one IDoc. You understand that? If I do that, IDoc is a packet of one header. How do I now select one material number and its corresponding data? I do that with the help of this row generation because I am already telling this, hey buddy, this will generate one record at a time, right? So this IDoc, if you have seen inside this as well, I will show you. /NW02. See, if you see this IDoc, how many materials are at the header level? One only, because I can only send one. So how do I do it from the boards? Simple. Query nest, map it to Mara, the header. EDIDC goes to EDIDC. Mara goes to EDIDC back because this is the header from the IDoc point of view. This is control segment, this is data segment. But for data segment, this is the header. So I take the use of EDIDC to send one IDoc at a time, one material number per IDoc at a time. Now, rest of the things are easy. Whatever segment is there, let me create one more segment, Mara 1. Let me use one more row generation for you guys to understand. Because ultimate, yes, one record at a time from the table Mara. You are already telling it Mara is the ultimate father. How? By mapping Mara to query nest. But I need one record, one material per IDoc at a time. That's the reason I take the help.
Where do you interrelate that row generation?
I will show you. I will show you. I will show you, sir.
Okay.
Just a moment. Suppose I had some data for query underscore Mara 1 as well. I want to show you because there was a question. Let me name it as, map it as null. Okay. I don't have anything for this. I'm just doing it. Somebody had a question. What if they ask me today, do not load Mara. Then later point of time, they ask me, hey, don't load Marcy. But at some later point of time, they ask me, okay, load Marcy. What will I do then? So it's better. You can anyways go to Idoc. For example, I will show you. This is the Idoc. Even if you delete it, nothing to worry about. For example, I deleted Marcy, right? Where is Marcy? This is Marcy.
Yeah.
I copy this. I can anytime go back. I can double click on this Mara. I select this Mara because I need my Marcy under Mara. The moment I paste, Marcy will be there. You see, Marcy is again there. You see that? So that's not an issue. If you delete anything, that's okay. But if you do not delete, how to map it then? I will show you. As of now, since Marcy has a lot of segments, I will delete it. I will just see it has lots of segments. Okay? The only thing worth learning here is how to map an IDoc. That's it. Suppose I won't delete all the segments. I'm taking an example. See, I don't need Mara 1, but I'm not deleting it just for the sake of showing you how we can control these things then. You don't want to delete because you believe at some later point of time they might give me data for Mara 1, right? So I will create a row generation. Okay? Or I can name it as, for example, unused. Something like that. Unused. Okay? Let me map it here. The moment you map anything, for example, I created a query unused and then connected it to this, right? You have to revisit all the joins again. By joins, I mean this from segment. See, if you see this from, query unused has been ticked. It has to be unticked. Please remember this. Whenever you join anything to query nest, then you have to revisit this. Now query nest is back with Mara. Then query EDIDC is connected to query IDIDC. Mara is connected to query EDIDC. Now MAKT is connected to, where is MAKT? MAKT is connected to MAKT. And Mara is connected. You don't want to send this Mara one, right? I will just, for the sake of naming it, I will just connect it to unused. If you have Marcy MVKE as well, you can still connect it to MVKE. And just inside this, you will write 1 is equal to 2. 1 can never be equal to 2, right? So it will never send this Mara 1 segment. Whenever you want to later send it, you can delete it and map it accordingly. But as of now, you don't want to.
Okay.
So simply, this is just a shortcut.
Okay.
If at some later point of time you want to map it or do anything, then please remove this where condition. As of now, I don't want to send it. That's the reason I'm keeping 1 is equal to 2. So we are done till this. I want to now show you the actual line segment. This is the line segment. Now, let's go back here. For example, this is my Mara and this is my MAKT. Please try to understand now. Okay, this is my Mara and this is my MAKT. Suppose the system, by the use of EDIDC, it picked up this material number. So inside my Mara segment, this Mara, the material number will be this, right? TFB3C1, and this is the corresponding detail. KA will flow, PERT will flow, C will flow, MATCL 01 will flow, unit of measure ST will flow, then BRGW, this will flow, everything will flow. But from MAKT, I need only the material number descriptions for this particular matter, right?
Yes.
So if I do it inside SQL, how do we do it? We do like where matter
condition
equal to this, right? So let me write the same thing here. The first part, one record at a time, it's being controlled by EDIDC. But for the line items, so this will come, but for line item, I will not send the whole table MAKT. I will only send it for this material. You guys follow me? So I have to write this where clause somewhere. So how we write it for the line items? So you will select this. No, you will not do joins anywhere, buddy. No joins. It will slow it down. It will slow it down to such a level that it will take you ages to load data. Simply,
where condition.
Yes, exactly. Now this is the where condition. I will simply do where this matter is equal to MAKT matter. So what it will do, whatever matter is flowing to my Mara, corresponding MAKT details will flow for that material, not the whole table. I don't want to load all the descriptions for one material, then all the descriptions to second material, then all the descriptions to third material, right? I don't want to do that. Just excuse me, give me a second. I'm getting a call. Just a moment. Okay. So this is how I will control it. In the from, I will write MAKT. Okay, get me all the MAKT table, but which data I want to flow. Whatever data is getting transferred to Mara segment, just give me the descriptions for only that particular matter for this particular IDoc. Now the simple mapping. If you understand this, rest of the things are easy. I double click on this, open this. Let me close this, do one-to-one mapping. There is nothing, no hard or nothing rocket science now. Simply do one-to-one mapping. If there are 5,000 fields, I'm really sorry, you have to do it. That's how it works. If someone has already used the IDoc, he can give you the ETL. But to be honest, we have to do it. And it doesn't take time. I know it's boring, but more you do it, like it's okay, we get used to it. This is simply now mapping. Whatever fields you want to map. Whatever fields are remaining for Mara, we map them to null. The only point that is worth learning here is how to set up the IDoc. Trust me, this is simple, but people don't know how to do it. They will create some unnecessary, they will create some unnecessary segments, unnecessary queries to do it. They will write some SQL joins inside, and it will give them the timeout error. I was recently working with I recently got a call from someone that he needs help. When I checked his IDoc, he had done all, for each segment he had done the joins, and they were not even able to load a single record. Because if they had some, they were trying to load vendors, right? If they had some 16 segments, everywhere they were using the joins, and they were not able to load it. And I'm telling you, for the experienced guys, for freshers, there is nothing on the YouTube. Trust me. So this is how we do it. This is how I have been doing it. I have learned it from my seniors, but this is how you should do it. This is the easiest approach I have ever come across. Just remember two things. Your ultimate header will go to the query nest, the main query, then EDIDC, then EDIDC, then the remaining segments to the proper queries, followed by the where clauses. And if you don't want to send any segment, just in the where clause write 1 is equal to 2. Now you remember why I'm joining this query archi with this, because I want to retrieve this legacy material number in case I'm using, what do you call this? An internal number range. I will not map it to this archi. I will map it to the value, legacy value that I'm sending. Now I was discussing some time back, what if you have data coming from different systems, right? This is, let me go to mapping, or you can do something like, if you have something like UK, right? You will definitely, you can do something like this. UK. Yeah, you can use this. You can do anything here. You can just come to know, okay, this was for UK, this was material number 1. Now, if material number 1 is also coming from US, that's failing. You come to know, okay, this is for US. So this is how we do it. Now I go to Mara. Let me I know I'm not going to post all the fields, right? So what I will do as a shortcut, I will first map everything to null. Then whatever fields are there, I will map them, remap them. Otherwise, this is a lot of work. And 90% of the project, they don't use all the fields. So it's better we just map everything. But please untick these things first. Yes, select this, then keep on going up. Shift, click this. Shift key.
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Right click, go to properties, untick, and then null. Okay, everything is null now. Now I will do the actual mapping. I want to select Matner. Let's do Matner. I want pstat. I will do pstat. Where is mtat? This is mtat. mbrsh. If you are unable to load using the null, then you search out for what this msg function does. 99% you will use it as null. Sometimes the data does not load as expected, then we change it to 001, 00 something, but it's not needed, buddy. 99% of the time, we'll leave it as null. What is brgw? Now there is brgw. Let me do this. Where is this? ntwew map. Where is kz? I don't see it. Let me write kzkfg. From where? From the target point. Select. Yes, it's there. Okay. Map it. VPSTA. VPSTA. Where is it? Here. Let's leave everything as null. Save it.